Oh, what is this? He hating on Pokemon? What? How dare he? Let's get it out of the way. Pokemon is good. You can criticize something without saying it's bad. Everything has flaws. Your favorite show has flaws. Your favorite game has flaws. Your girl's got flaws. She doesn't floss. I tweeted this the other day. If you follow me on Twitter, you know what this video is about. I hate that Pokemon protagonists are 10 years old. It just doesn't make sense to me how you would be able to whip champions like Alder, Cynthia, and N, who've been training for literally like a decade. I swear Cynthia would be like freaking 34. Alder's like freaking 90. What? Why can we, who are 10 years old, surpass him without even an explanation for your power? I invite you to imagine what the replies were. They were like split down of like one of three responses. The first half said as they push their glasses up, Titar, they're not 10 for your information, they are 11. This invalidates your whole tweet. I actually got this response from people. People legit said this, but then again, they weren't people who followed me, so they probably thought it was some crazy dude on Twitter. And you know, when you see someone's opinion, you gotta counter it, right? The other response was people agreeing with me, and the third response that you saw was, Titar, they're prodigies. They're freaking of course they're champion level. They're a child prodigy. I know they're a prodigy, okay? But where's the explanation? How come the audience doesn't feel it? My point here, if I have to spell it out, is not that they can't be 11 years old, but they're 11 years old with no explanation to what power they figured out that no one else in the region has. I refuse to believe, okay, that a kid, a child, 10 years old, they're 11 years old, is able to even get past 2 gym badges, let alone beat all 8 gyms, be the last hope of the apocalyptic world that the champion must rely on you, who's 11, to swim on Water Demon and Lava Demon's back. Meanwhile, capture the gods of time and space in another game, fly on the back of ancient lizard dragon into space to destroy a dinosaur wiping meteor, and then also capture the lizard dragon, despite there being a whole line of descendants that's only purpose was practicing to befriend it, but they fail. And then meanwhile, go into the reverse gods world, defeat evil crime lords like Cyrus, who are psychos that have so much power that they lasted years in the region without the champion, an Elite Four member, or gym leader confronting them or trying to stop them, and then also play a flute to put God in a Pokeball. And then take on the Elite Four, defeat the standing champion that is usually said to be undefeated, the literal Jiren of the region. Who is this mysterious person that defeated Lens? It's 10-year-old Timmy. Are you freaking high or something? Oh, Titar, they're not 10, they're 11. Let's go through them, okay? Red is 11. Gold is apparently 11, I think, in the manga. Brendan is 12. Dawn is 10 in the anime. Hilbert is 14. Serena and Callum might be as high as 16. And then Elio and Celine, if you don't know the Sun and Moon dudes, are 11. This invalidates your whole tweet. Here's the thing with being a child prodigy, okay? You can do that, okay? But the audience needs to know that too. It's the most basic trope ever. If you're a strong person in any story, the audience needs to understand that you're strong, stronger than everyone else, abnormally strong. Okay, here's a simple trope. If Goku's losing a freaking General Towel, okay, he gets his ass kicked, and then he goes back and drinks this mystical water that's supposed to make him super strong, you as the audience now know he got a power upgrade. He's about to kick Mr. General Chicken's ass. And then he goes and kicks it. The audience can back it up and feel the power in him. I tweeted this too. The only one I believe is Hilbert being 14 and being able to beat an 18 to 20-year-old N. But even that was far-fetched. He was going all out in the battle. He wasn't trying to lose. And Black and White's battle at the end on top of the Dragon Spiral Tower was supposed to be symbolic as the recreation of the destined rivalry between the ideal hero and the truth hero long ago. N is literally like the reincarnation of one of those two ancient heroes, less literally and more in terms of inheriting his will, being the only one in the region who carries on that ancient will. And we are the special character because we inherited the other brother's will. We are the only two characters that have this certain spark in the whole region. That's why we're strong in Black and White. This is what people say. Titar, we have friendship power that no other trainer knows how to do. This bondship ability that allows all these protagonists to surpass champions at the age of 11. N has that too. He was a trainer for far longer. He had a freaking Darmanitan, Zoro, and Woobat as a kid. There's literally no reason we could have won that battle aside from plot. Bring up the friendship point. N has the exact same level of care and friendship for his Pokemon. And it's like a protagonist you never got a chance to play as. And that's me talking about the game that I believe the most that you could beat the champion. Guys, why does Brendan and May have the ability at the age of 12 to be the last hope to stop Kyogre and Groudon? Like Steven can't even do crap. What does the audience feel from Brendan and May? How does Don and Lucas have the ability to stop freaking Cyrus and then go on to beat Cynthia? Don is freaking 10 in the anime, and probably here too. Why is she wearing that? Do you know how messed up Pokemon fans are? It's freezing in Sinnoh. Go wear something else, Don. Jeez. And tell me how Elio and Celine, okay, the Sun and Moon dudes, are gonna be freaking foreigners from Kanto, someone literally not from Alola, and they just breeze through all these trials and the kahunas that are part of Alola's tradition, and then befriend the Sun and Moon legends, stop aliens from mirror dimensions, and then stop Necrozma, who was like the ancient god that formed Alola, that the culture in Alola is based off. The Trial Z Crystal, the prophecy of Necrozma returning to claim its light. Necrozma is the one who gave them the Z Crystals. How was Necrozma and all of this stopped by someone who isn't even from Alola? A literal dude on vacation. Like, it makes no sense. I feel like people don't get my point. The games are incredible, but this is the problem. What we call this is plot convenience, and it destroys the immersion of any fun story. Now, like I said, Pokemon is good aside from this, and there is a possibility to make sense of this, even though they don't describe anything in any of the games. And I'll tell you right now, if Pokemon was meant to be a gag story, a gag anime, and a gag game, then, to be honest, it would be okay. Oh, teacher, what does he mean gag? What I mean by that is like how Dragon Ball was in the early days, like how One Punch Man is in today's times. The point of those stories is about a main character being someone who abnormally breaks all the boundaries as a gag and gets reactions from everyone for being so incredibly strong, almost fourth wall breakingly strong. So our 11-year-old boy would be beating the evil team, 8 gyms, Elite Four, and Champion simply as a gag character. If I knew I was One Punch Man, then maybe I'd enjoy the games more. Maybe as soon as I start my journey, I'm like, I can't wait to freaking punch everyone. But it's not. Pokemon is not a gag story. If it is a gag story, it isn't done properly, the way a gag story should be. Even in gag stories, okay, the interest comes from seeing other characters react to the main character's stupidly broken power. Reactions is literally the main thing in a gag story because you love the ego of being this main character and feel the satisfaction of everyone acknowledging your overpowered strength. And the writer of a gag manga knows that, and that's the point of it. Like, if Goku goes up to Frieza and he lands a punch up his face, you get excited, but you get 10 times more excited when it turns the cameras to all his friends and they're all in shock at how strong he is. That's the point. That's how you show the audience what their strength means. This doesn't happen in Pokemon. Nobody acknowledges your strength. Nobody boasts your potential as if it's something crazy. You don't beat a gym leader and they're in shock, wondering how a kid is this strong. Nobody hypes you up, but then suddenly you can fight the champion, even though the game didn't even put a line between you and youngster Jimmy from before. Not only are the reactions completely missing from the game, but it's like no one is surprised at you. Isn't that all the more convincing? You just don't feel excited for your own character's power. This is something so important that Pokemon is just missing. The excitement they need to build into your main character. Like you have something to show off. An element that makes you feel unusually powerful. You're literally just doing the same thing as everyone else, but for some reason you come out on top. Why the hell are there veteran trainers like 60 years old and they suck? They suck ass. And meanwhile you're on vacation from another region and you beat the whole region's tradition. This brings me to my next point. There's no passage of time either. So it feels like you just speed ran through the whole region's gym leaders and made it to the champion in like a week. No passage of time. Look, we're aged around 10 or 11, yes, because it feels good with fans. Everyone who watched Dragon Ball Z, they saw themselves in Gohan. Whether you're a girl or a boy. Gohan was such an innocent kid, he was your age. You reflected yourself into him, and you really wanted Gohan to be powerful. That's why he's a fan favorite in Dragon Ball. It may feel good with young fans, like, hey, yo, this is me. But you have to explain it. Like, I feel like at the very least, lie to the kids. Design them to be hella young so kids can reflect themselves in them, but have them in an actuality not be 10 years old. Timmy Turner's 10, for God's sake. I agree. Young people, literally kids, are the ones who can awaken more potential than adults. Adults are freaking screwed up, they're old, they're lazy. Kids with their innocence and energy are actually the ones who climbs fast. But where do they show this in Pokemon? There are numerous solid tropes that good writers use to bring excitement to smaller parts of the story to make the overall journey that much more interesting. Let me give you an example, okay? Let's see. Let's start the Pokemon game off, you being a random trainer aged 11. Okay, we'll fit into your scope, Pokemon. And you have a rival as well. You're nobody important. You're literally youngster Joey. The professor gives you to a Pokemon and tells you to F off. Your rival is just a random person who you meet in the lab that day. None of you are anyone special. Then you hear around town and overhear from the professor of a mystical trainer said to be one of the strongest in the region in the past a few years ago before he disappeared. But his name has become legendary and strikes fear into the hearts of anyone, be it the professor, gym leaders, Elite Four, evil team leader. All of them would freaking freeze in their boots at the name of this dude. Even the current champion. Alright guys, let me pause it right here. Okay, halfway through editing this video, I figured I needed more visuals. So I started drawing crap with my mouse, and it's... Just please laugh at it, okay? Don't take it seriously. I'm just trying to show you some visuals, and I hate it so much. Just don't take them seriously, okay? God damn it, I freaking hate this video. Alright, you can continue. Then, create an image of how difficult gyms are. Let's say you make it to the first gym with your rival, and you go like, hey, let's compete to see who can get the gym badge first. And make it so the first gym leader is a snotty-nosed ass who beats the crap out of you before saying that you need a lot more training before thinking you can take on the region's gyms. Maybe you can mention the evil team and how much stronger the world is than you. Remember, you're an irrelevant ass. And then when you go back outside, your rival also lost. Oh, but T-Tar, there's no such thing as battles you can't win. Pokemon's never done it before. Then sidetrack you and have it be nighttime and have someone in town say, my Pokemon went missing and I can't find it. I think it went into the forest that night. Can someone help? And then nobody else, none of the civilians outside want to help. So you alone, not even with your rival, go into the forest above the town at night in the spooky area and make it to the last area, only to find the Pokemon alone and scared there in the middle. It's happy to see you, and then when you're about to turn and take it back out through the forest, someone jumps down from the trees and lands. And then this dude praises you, knowing that you came to the forest alone to help that child when no one else would. He compliments you, says you have this pure heart, something not many trainers have in this world. And then he tells you something like, do not train your Pokemon to be strong. Show them love, care for them, and fight with your heart. Be one with your Pokemon. Be in sync with them. Allow them to fight, not under your command, but because they love you. And with that power, they will quickly be far stronger than you'll realize. And then he tells you to go show the world, pauses with his back to you, tells you his name, and then disappears into the trees. His name being the mystical trainer that everyone craps their pants if they hear. Then after he leaves, have a certain sparkle show in your Pokemon, and then have the text appear on screen. The old man's words echo. You feel a strong bond with your Pokemon. Your party's power increased. Your Pokemon will now gain boosted experience. This is an indication that you just received something special, received a power-up that nobody else has, something that you're excited to show off to everyone now. Now have you return to the town, take on the gym again, only to whip his ass so bad, wipe the floor with him, and get to see his smug reaction to losing so badly after all the rude words he spoke to you literally one day ago. And then the audience can feel how satisfying it would be when he has to acknowledge that he is weaker than you and hand you his gym badge. Do you realize how immersed you would be with something like that? Now you have this extreme power thanks to that man's words, a power that no one else in the region has. Your Pokemon grow faster and stronger. You couldn't touch him before, now you're speeding through. Yes, this is the power that all the protagonists have. Where do they tell us? How does the audience get to feel the power of it? This is what the mysterious man had too, that made him the strongest trainer in the region that no one else has. Now your rival, who was sulking over being the worthless trainer that the first gym leader called him, will see you got your first gym badge. He'll get a spark in his eye, use that as true motivation, and this will be the start to your rivalship as he goes into the gym and beats the crap out of the first gym leader as well. You winning will be the light for him, and wanting to surpass you will motivate him, and he will follow right behind you as he beats the first gym and you guys together move on to the next gyms. Doesn't these little things add so much flavor to the Pokemon story, even though I didn't freaking say anything about the legendaries or anything? Sometimes Pokemon game writers feel like they handed in the rough draft, and that became the final game. Let's skip a bit. Let's add levels for the audience to anticipate growing stronger. There should be characters that say that trainers with 6 gym badges are said to be rare and have the potential to one day challenge the Elite Four. This makes the audience know where the line is between a strong trainer and a really strong trainer. Show the evil team along the way, and when you get your 6th gym badge, have this disastrous event happen where you accidentally sneak into this random building and it turns out to be the big base of the evil team. And you get caught up in this climax where the evil team leader confronts you face to face, then he sends his admin out to fight you, and have it be this big battle that you get to show off just how strong you are. Your unique trainer with this power backing you up and your gym leader 6th level, have you wipe the floor with them and make it feel good for the player. And after that, the leader gets pissed, says he'll clean you up himself, challenges you, and wipes the floor with you. And then after the battle ends, just as the leader laughs and says how in just a few years we're gonna destroy the whole region, some shadowy figure jumps down and lands right beside you, the mysterious dude. Have the evil team leader be frozen in his boots and literally crap out in his pants, and then just have it so the mysterious man simply takes you out of his base and leaves. And then outside, he tells you how he's impressed by you and how you're the only trainer in the entire region to achieve the same full synchronization power that he did. But then he tells you, however, that you're not strong enough and that even if you have more potential, that you've reached the peak of your current power. Make up some BS of how he doesn't want to fight the evil team leader himself because he doesn't want his image revealed. And instead, he takes you to this uninhabited mountain nearby and says he'll train you. Have a small journey there under the mentorship of this trainer. Like, you go to this mountain and there's avalanches caused. You freaking climb up the mountain, find out it's caused by a bomb of snow, stop it, and he trains you. And then, just like the text that appeared at the start of Sun and Moon, when Lily leaves the Aether base, have it fade to black, and it say 3 years later. And then when it fades back, you're much older looking now. He praises how much potential you awaken in these years before seeing you off and telling you to go continue your journey. And then he disappears in the mountains again, this time forever. And then have the text appear on screen again, saying that your Pokemon's power has increased even more. They will gain even further boosted experience. Pause for a second. Do you realize what this does? It shows the audience that the trainer is gifted with a special power of having a strong bond. Shows the audience that the trainer is a prodigy. Now, as the audience, you feel strong. You felt strong after meeting him in the forest. Now you feel hella strong. In fact, tell me right now, just the current setup and the flavor added to the main character that you're playing is, after having 3 years passed, don't you feel like you might even be pre-champion level at this current moment? Doesn't the setup just sound and feel so satisfying? Now compare this to Pokemon games. Literally nothing happens in those Pokemon games to indicate your strength, to make you feel excited for your strength, proud of it, and excited to show it off. You don't feel special or normally powerful at all in Pokemon games. Now you beat the crap out of the 7th and 8th gym leader. You get to fight the evil team leader at the climax of their plans. Remember, they said in a couple years we need to destroy the world. And then he sees you again, and he's like, oh, you're the idiot I beat the crap out of, and you wipe the floor with them. You get to show him, just as you did the first gym leader in the beginning of the adventure. You get to beat the crap out of him, feel the excitement of beating this dude who beat the floor with you, and then he has to acknowledge how strong you are before you disband it. Whatever, I'll stop the story there. You can fill in the rest. You fight the Elite Four champion. If you want, add in a post-game event, okay, where after you become champion, and you feel, the audience can feel that, yeah, this dude is a champion level trainer. Have it so just like Red, and just like Steven in Pokemon Emerald, you can go up to some special mountain, and on the last floor, you see some dude sitting on the stairs, and it's the mysterious dude. And you can have this thing where he's freaking proud, being the dude he once saw in the forest, to being his student, to now being the current champion, and you can have a super boss fight with him. Okay, I'll stop there. I don't want to write a freaking story right now. And besides, I literally pulled all of that out of my ass right now. I'm staring at the camera just saying it. But do you see the difference? A trainer like this has power to show. It's like he's the Hulk. And you feel like the Hulk amongst all these normal people, regular humans. You can either have him 14 in the beginning of the story like Hilbert and Bilber, and have him turn 17 in the end game, and that feels like a freaking champion level little tiny Gohan monster. But even if the kid was 11, and we want to pull what Game Freak does with kids, even being 14 in the end game and knowing the backstory to why you're this strong, you feel champion level. That's all there is to it. Just add flavor to your story. But now you guys are probably like, oh, Tito, but Pokemon doesn't do these things. Pokemon doesn't do battles that you're not allowed to beat. Pokemon doesn't do makeovers. How is that an excuse to not do it now? Pokemon doesn't do good things. They can't do it. They can't just start now. Besides, a character redesign and upgrade? What the hell do you think they did in the Red and Blue? Blue literally develops throughout the game. He gets more swaggered out, and he shows more confidence in his sprite each time. That was in the first games, but if you want a recent example, what the hell do you think Lily is? What about freaking Lily's full makeover? They redesigned her. Well, they don't do redesigns. As if I need to list a previous example of them doing it for them to start now. Oh, but teacher, there's no such thing as battles you're not allowed to win. They literally did it in the first games. What the hell is the Marowak ghost fight? You're not allowed to beat it. That's the point of it. How hard is it to make it so when you first fight the first gym leader, you just can't land a move on him? Just like the ghost. Because his Pokemon are too fast for you. Imagine how satisfying it'd be when you can land a move. You're like, dude, my Pokemon just got freaking superpowers. I could go on and on about all the flavor you could add to a story so the audience can feel it too. Let's go back to original point. When I made that tweet, people be telling me, oh, Titar, these glasses, they have the power of friendship and they are a prodigy. Then how about you freaking goddamn show it? How about you have the audience feel it too? What else are they playing it for then?